The developers of Palworld get death threats, modders add Ash and Pikachu to the game, and Riot Games downsizes dramatically. I'm Ash Dixon, and this is GINX News. Palworld has exploded onto the scene harder than a mishandled Voltorb, ironically one of the few Pokemon they haven't ripped off, but when you get that much attention, well, things quickly spiral out of control. Now, just a quick update on how successful this thing actually is, because overnight it reached yet another peak concurrent player count, hitting an insane 1.58 million. That makes it the third most played game on Steam of all time. The problem is, while Palworld clearly seems to have mastered the recipe for a great monster-catching survival game, some of the ingredients they've been using look to be very stolen. And people aren't happy about it, so much so that devs have received death threats. Now, I have plenty of mixed feelings on this, though let me start by saying sending death threats is always scummy as hell. I get being passionate, especially with something like Pokemon, but I think it's hilarious siding this hard with a company that has repeatedly disrespected its fanbase. Don't get me wrong, I love Pokemon myself, but I 100% recognize how pathetic the last few mainline games have been. And trust me, I have some bones to pick in regards to the TCG. Like, is it so hard to have a client that just works? Sort your out. But on top of that, Pokemon is part owned by Nintendo. And let's be honest, they have a hefty track record of defending themselves. And by defending themselves, I mean actively hunting down and destroying their prey. But also, as much as it's awful Pocket Pair devs are getting death threats, their CEO has also called out what he called slanderous comments against our artist. And I'm like, bro, as we discussed in yesterday's video, you ain't fooling anyone. In fact, the plagiarism claims are just getting worse and worse. People have been taking the 3D models of Pals and putting them side by side with those from Pokemon, and some are just way too similar. There's also accusations that these creatures have been generated on AI trained on Pokemon artwork, and while there's currently no hard evidence to back up that claim, it is rather suspicious how a lot of Pals are just 2 or 3 Pokemon mashed together. And it doesn't help that the devs literally made a game called AI Art Imposter. So yeah, that don't look good. Either way, as of right now, the game looks like it's miraculously avoided any legal action, though considering the attention and money the game is getting, that might not stay true for long. That's enough about potential legal onslaughts. Let's just calm things down with a, oh god damn it. Well, this is awkward, isn't it? Yep, that's right. Someone has already made a Pokemon mod for Palworld. It was kind of inevitable, but also, hot damn, does modder Toasted Shoes work quick. I must admit, I thought the whole thing looked pretty dreamy when I first saw it. Finally, a decent looking open world Pokemon game. But then my heart quickly shattered after seeing Pikachu subjected to a life of slave labor. Other highlights include Misty with a shotgun and Ash dying. Now with Palworld, Nintendo are probably still building up their legal case. With this mod, well, they've descended on it faster than a carbon fiber deep sea submersible. In fact, Toasted Shoes has already confirmed that their lawyers have come knocking. Though this really ain't his first rodeo, as his other projects include adding Disney characters to Mortal Kombat. All the more reason to check out his YouTube channel, and all the more reason to subscribe to here too. We love making these videos every day. We love seeing you guys get involved in the comments, and we love job security. So if you want to help transform this into some mega big YouTube channel, well, I won't complain. Riot Games, the minds behind League of Legends and its various spin-offs, have announced that they're cutting about 11% of its workforce, as well as introducing hiring freezes and other cost-controlling measures. In a company-wide email, CEO Dylan Jadea wrote, "Since 2019, we've made a number of big bets across the company with the goal of making it better to be a player, as we became a multi-game, multi-experience company. Today, we're a company without a sharp enough focus, and simply put, we have too many things underway." He went on to say that the company is now unsustainable and that it put the core of Riot's business at risk, which in all honesty just sounds like him saying, "Sorry gang, we bit off more than we can chew." Obviously, this won't come as any consolation to the 530 people who are losing their jobs, but maybe, just maybe, they should sack the people who actually made these sweeping decisions in the first place. It seems basically every gaming exec made the same stupid mistake of overhiring during COVID, yet I never see their names on the list. Well, other than Unity's John Riccitiello, but then again, he messed up multiple times and is basically the creme de la creme of being But layoffs aren't the only thing happening at Riot. They've also announced that their card game Legends of Runeterra has had its development team reduced and is basically just going into sustainability mode. It's a shame, to be honest, because one, it's an incredibly well-designed card game, and two, its model was incredibly free-to-play friendly, unlike other certain titles that just want to gobble up your whole paycheck. But maybe that was the problem. Apparently, it's always been subsidized by Riot's other games, so it's clearly never been a money maker. But it just goes to show the reason so many games are so predatory with microtransactions is because it clearly works. The company's also ending Riot Forge, the program where external studios could use Riot's IP to create single-player games. Through it, we've seen the likes of the Mage Seeker, Ruined King, and the upcoming Bandle Tale, which will be the last Riot Forge title. And while none of those games have really blown up, it's a shame because the League IP is rich in lore and character, and there's definitely still potential there. Now, I should add that the severance package for the laid-off staff is apparently quite generous, if that's the right word. They're also still committed to League of Legends, Valorant, TFT, and Wild Rift. Strangely, they didn't mention their upcoming fighting game or MMO, which the latter better not be cancelled because I need a new MMO, and at this point I think a company like Riot are literally the only people who can probably pull it off. And just like that, we've come to the part of the show where I say so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, subscribe. Check out yesterday's video somewhere around here, and we'll see you tomorrow.